Hello, welcome everybody. This is kind of like a very impromptu thing, so I'd like to thank everybody that came here. Thank you very much for coming. And the guests that I'm going to have on, I'm going to have 4 guests tonight, and I'll let them all introduce themselves once we get going here. Let me fix my camera here a little bit. Looks like I may have bumped it the last time I hit the light here. That. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, thank you, Canop. Run them numbers up. I'd appreciate if you do. So, as I said, we're gonna. One of my viewers, he doesn't even play Star Citizen. He's been watching me for close to a year now. He's never played. He's always watched from the sidelines. I've enjoyed many of his insights from the outside looking in, and he posed a little question to me about Star Citizen and how it's kind of like an addiction and just a few other things. And I thought it would make a really, really good discussion point tonight. So without further ado, we are going to bring our guests on in here, and let me set that up. It may take just a second, but let me set that up here real quick. Oops, I don't want that just yet. So hold on one moment. Let me set this up. Let's deactivate that. And that's been deactivated. Okay. Oops, wrong button. Let me get in here. All right, I'm going to be bringing everybody on here in just a second. Hold on. This is my first time doing this, so just bear with me here. Just bear with me here. Of course. Alrighty. There we go. Let me bring everybody in here, and we will be ready to go. Hold on one second, guys. Be dragging everybody in here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got Canop, Pagan Links Geek, and Moonraker in for the podcast roundtable discussion. I'm not worried about it. People can come to my Discord, and if they get a little rowdy, I'll boot them out. It's not that big of a deal. So, first, before we get going, I would like to put these up for you guys. Make sure you go and check out both of these gentlemen right here. Put this up in chat. Make sure you guys go and check these guys out. And for those of you that don't know, that's Canop __. It's a double underscore. So let's start off with, I know a lot of people already know Canop, but Canop, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? How long you've been playing, what Star Citizen means to you, and then we'll go on to the next one.
All right, hello. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Canop, obviously. I've been playing Star Citizen for about 2 years now. And I got started in this game just like, most bad drugs. My best friend introduced it to me. And I've been having fun with it. I mean, I love Star Citizen. I think I'm in the same camp a lot of people. I love the scope of what this game could be.
Alrighty. And for you that don't know, Canop's best friend is Marcus Wynn. I should also put up his channel. I'll do that here in a little bit. But Marcus Wynn also is a YouTuber, and I think he streams on Kick as well. So I'll put up his stuff here in a little bit. Moonraker, you're up next. Tell everybody who you are, what Star Citizen means to you, and yeah, what you like, what you don't like.
Well, my name is Moonraker. I've been in Star Citizen for a year now, as of Invictus. I tend to run the industrial side of things. I'm slightly older gentleman, so I tend to just get in, kick back, and chill. I like the calm side of things. Not much into the rowdier side of the verse, but I'm glad it's there because it does keep those of us on our like the quiet side on our toes a little bit.
Ooh, we should bring JT in here in a little bit if he's willing to. Thanks, Moonraker. Thank you, Moonraker. Pagan, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Pagan. I came to the project in 2019, so more than 3 years. Quickly became addicted. This is my heroin. Most of my gameplay tends to be like let's make money loops, so like industrial money, like mining, salvage. I do get that little wild hair that pops up sometimes, and I try to seek out people and do stuff that may be a little less than honorable.
I'm going to turn off the background on my
Camera.
It's popping and doing weird things. So you guys get to look at my green screen behind me. Sorry about that. But it's popping. Somebody's gonna have a seizure or something, and I don't want bad things to happen. So Pagan, you've been here for 4 years, 3 years?
Almost 4, I think. I'd have to roll it back and look. I started investigating it for about 6 months before I finally stuck the needle in the arm, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I knew full well what I was getting into.
Okay. So we'll start. Well, since you were just talking, we'll start with Pagan. How do I word this? What really sucked you in?
The close approximation to a second reality. I've been a space nerd since I was old enough and even heard the first term outer space. I was like, what's outer space? So since I was single digits in years, I've been a space nerd. And I'd heard of games like Wing Commander and Freelancer. I'd watch my son play them and things like that. It's like, it's fun to watch it, but it didn't really pull me in. But the first time that I started watching video gameplay of Star Citizen, I think it was a morphologist video I watched and then a Hawks trading video I watched.
Okay.
I watched them, and I was like, wow, this seems really realistic. I was like, there's no way it looks that good. So I was like, all right, fine, I'm sold. Even if it looks half as good as it does in the videos, this will be fun to play. And as soon as I jumped in, I immediately thought of like if we had a virtual reality helmet and a suit, I would never leave my chair.
Oh yeah. For sure. That would be absolutely craziness. That would be absolute craziness. Ganop. Other than Marcus, what really drug you into the Star Citizen addiction?
I have always been a big sucker for open world type things. So the sandbox aspect of Star Citizen really resonates with me. The fact that you can jump in your ship and do whatever you want. There's no point B objective to the game, and there's nowhere in between A and B you can't go. So if you want to go to, if objective is on B, and if you want to go, explore the entire rest of the verse, you can before you go to B. And that resonates with a lot of people. That's why games like, I believe the games like, Skyrim, Fallout are really great, successful. It allows players to do what they want and find their own fun in the game. And the open worldness of that just really drags me in.
Gotcha. So Moon, what started your addiction?
Well, just the space game thing. I was looking for. I tend to lean heavy towards Sims. All Sims. and I got into the single player side of Elite Dangerous and was goofing around with that. And before I even got into the multiplayer side, I started hearing about Star Citizen. And yeah, I went ahead and got in on one of the free flies. And when I saw how open and how much more sim-like it was, I was like, yeah, this is home.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, anybody new that starts watching, how I've been around for just over a year now, like a year and a couple of months. How I got in was my buddy Starlord. You guys have seen him and heard him on a few live streams. Me and him worked together, and he kept showing me pictures and videos of Star Citizen, and I had heard about it years past, and I kind of just wrote it off. It's one of those scam things. It's those Kickstarters that are going to ask for money and then be gone, and, like a fart in the wind kind of thing. And it, 5 years later, he came up to me and he's showing me pictures and videos. He's like, "You got to play this. You got to play this." And I was like, I don't know if I want to get involved in a Kickstarter project. And he's like, "Yeah, but don't you like space games?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, Wing Commander 1, 2, and 3, Descent," and the list goes on and on. And he's like, "It's made by Chris Roberts." I'm like, "Why have I heard that name before?" And he's like, "Wing Commander." All right, well, I'm gonna go home and download it. Okay. So that's how I got into it. That's how my addiction started. So I figured we'd start with, since the big hot topic right now is CitizenCon. Are you looking forward to CitizenCon? And we'll start with Pagan. Are you looking forward to this year's CitizenCon?
I am very much so. Sadly, I will not be there in person. Responsibilities and family life demands, but I'm very much looking forward to it. We do this thing where some of us get together and watch it together and kind of chat with each other in Discord, so it's almost as good as being there, but not quite. The things I'm looking forward to the most is finding out what's next in the plans. It seems to me that they tend to go almost radio silent in preparation for CitizenCon. So it's like after CitizenCon, we get the ISCs and the SCLs, and you learn what's going on. We learn about this, and then suddenly they're like, "Shh, we're not telling you anything right now." So I feel like I'm having DTs. So I'm waiting for my fix there to find out what's coming down the pipe. And I'm waiting to see what ships are going to make available for us to purchase because typically they, and rightly so and smartly, like, hey, the hype is here. Let's release a ship for sale and let the backers pledge more money. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see what's coming down the pipeline. I'm really eager to be able to go back to Levski. I miss Eslin.
Alrighty. Fair enough. Moon, how about you? You excited for the CitizenCon?
Kind of like Pagan. Yeah, I'm excited for the information stuff, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to be there. But yeah, I'm one. I love sitting there watching all the news outlets, the what's coming. I'm all over them.
Okay.
Just to keep track of it all. I like seeing that even though it's slow, there is still progress.
Canop, how about you?
Yes and no. Mainly, I'm not interested in CitizenCon this coming up time. I feel like it's going to be a pretty big nothing burger. The only thing that slightly gets me interested in CitizenCon is that there's been a little murmurs that they actually might drop some good info, a little bit kind of big info about upcoming on Pyro coming out. But other than that, from really how they've always been with the feature creep, I think it's going to be a lot of talk about what they're going to be doing with the tools they're developing, but a lot of just nothing to show in hand for it.
Okay.
And Pyro's the only thing I'm excited for because I think that's the only thing they're going to be able to deliver us substantially here in the near future.
Okay, I'll let you guys know my opinion. I am not that excited for CitizenCon. I'm one of the few people that, well, not one of the few. I'm one of the people that got jaded kind of quickly when it came to CitizenCon and some of the things that they talk about there, because a lot of it doesn't seem to come true. You know, some people bring up the sandworms, some people bring up the mag boots, some people bring up pyro, since, you know, pyro is been what, 3 years out now. It's they started talking about it 3 years ago and it's still not out yet. I've said it and I've made it very clear. I have a love-hate relationship with this game. I love the people that I've met. I love getting into the shenanigans that we get into, and I love the enormous amounts of laughs that we have. But at the same time, I get kind of discouraged on the development front. So that's kind of where I stand. I hope that's not too negative. I'm trying not to be a negative Nancy on this, but that's kind of where I sit right now. You know, I did my due diligence with research, and some of the things that have gone on in the past kind of leave me scratching my head as to, but why not yet?
Right. Feature creep can be real tiring.
Yes. So, Canop, I know you said you wanted to grab a couple of things. What were those couple of things that you wanted to grab?
So I've been watching, every so often I'll go in and look at, Star Citizen and the stuff they're talking about, stuff they want to come out with. And I wanted to pull up something about their most recent update. A lot of the stuff on the list of major bug fixes that have come up, they haven't even fixed. And these are issues that have been around. Some of them are newer with PES, like fixed issue causing debris to obstruct and not clear from hangars.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a load of fucking crap. Last time when we played with Pagan, we were running into that issue where I had one where there was shit in my hangar, and Pagan had one where he had to avoid flying out around the stuff. It's still there. The issue's still there. Of course, like I said, that's newer with PES.
Yeah.
But account issues are still around.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the issue council, and you will see plethora of people talking about, I can't even get into the game. My character is unstowed. Character reset didn't work. And it's just stuff like that. I look at all the time, and I wonder, when is the lies, or I don't even know if they technically are saying they are lying, because they probably feel like they're fixing these things, but to put it in as a bug fix now, especially when you're not putting anything into PES to test out, I feel like is kind of shady and kind of misleading to a lot of people. Because especially if you're somebody who hasn't been playing and you're looking at these and you're seeing a lot of these updates come out and stuff, you're going to get the feeling that Star Citizen's doing something right now. But other than PES, the gameplay hasn't really changed. You're still doing all the same stuff. The game's still the same. Like they say, they fix trams. Trams are still busted.
Oh yeah.
Ships not spawning in the correct place. Half fixed, right? That's half fixed. You no longer, like, if you're in Lorryville, your ship doesn't spawn a new Babbage, right? But it'll tell you, like, it's in hangar 14, and you go down there, hangar 14's empty, and you look, and your ship's 2,000 meters away from you over in hangar 8.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like this, it makes me mad, because these are things that we take a hit on performance issue, like fixed NPCs from duplicating in multiple places.
Yeah, that keeps
Which,
yeah.
which is a lot. Like you can go to, what is it, Area 18 or ArtCorp, the one with the big like glowy ball in the middle of the shopping center.
Yeah, that's the ArtCorp Plaza.
NPCs love to duplicate right underneath that ball. And you can go there sometimes before the server crash, and there'll just be, 50, 60 dudes just standing underneath that ball in the center of ArtCorp.
That's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah.
really creepy when you see it happen. Pagan, how do you feel on the how do you feel about PES since they've added it?
A mixed bag. I know this is going to strike some people as a little weird. A guy that runs cargo and does mining is excited for PES because it helps the pirates, but that's true. My favorite thing to come, and I'll be truthful with you, my two favorite things about PES is the fact that if somebody soft desks your ship, they can get your goods. I think that's engaging. Now, I mean, the cargo runner in me that likes profits, like, no, I'm going to lose my stuff. But the game player, the gamer in me is like, bring that on. That's engaging gameplay. I also think it's awesome because I can't wait for the time that we can make our own salvage. And what I mean by that is like, let's go out and have some fun. Let's have some combat, multi-ship combat. After it's all said and done, the rest of the crew comes in with the vultures and the reclaimer, claims up the debris. We have fun. We have engaging gameplay, a lot of GGs and GFs all around. And at the end of the session, we go home a little richer in game. So those are the two things I like about PES. What I don't like is the same things that was mentioned previously by Canup, and well done, is this crap that's in the way of the hangar. I mean, if you're going to leave this crap around the space stations and in the way, let us make use of the ships we have to get rid of that crap. You gave us a vulture, you gave us a reclaimer, but we can't frickin' use them in the area of the game that needs it the most.
Yeah, even if it was a pay-to-play thing, like you pay X amount of space bucks and then they give you X amount of time to clean up that area.
Yep.
To break that hard armistice, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Moon, how do you feel about first off, I'm gonna be bringing in Star-Lord. I'm really excited that he is able to join us. I'm gonna bring him in after you go, Moon. How do you feel about since you've been here for about a year? How do you feel about CIG and their bug fixing?
That again, mixed bag. There are a lot of bugs that I would like to see fixed, but at the same point in time, I can understand that for what they're working on and what they're doing, it might not be important to look at that at this time. Eventually, they'll get to all of them. It's going to happen if they're going to get a full release game.
Right.
But yeah, as they say, and I agree, you got to set priorities. And as a player, especially somebody who's never done any actual game developing myself, I have no idea how to even look at what the priorities are. I do understand, as somebody who is a builder, I've done years of metal fabrication and stuff like that, that the builder definitely sees the project from a completely different light than somebody that's just wanting to get in there and use it.
Yeah.
And the quote unquote user, or in this case the game player, there's no way that they can have any idea how the builder is going to come up with their priority list. It's just not possible.
It's true. We don't know what resources they have. We don't know the time that they have.
It's not, and it is more than just resources and time. It's just they're going to definitely be more in sync of knowing what is going to happen next for the project to evolve. We might have our desires and wants and dreams, but that might not have anything to do whatsoever with what needs to come next for the project as a whole to evolve.
Very true. Very true. Let me pause here. I'm going to bring in Star-Lord, the guy that got me to shoot the space heroine up 1 second, guys. Star-Lord, you there?
Yep. What's up?
What's going on? How you doing, man?
What's up, Star-Lord?
What's up? What's up? I'm just tired. Just got off work not even an hour ago.
Ooh, that's rough, man. It's rough. Did you have a good day?
Fuck no.
Sorry.
That shit sucked. Damn machines kept going down, and there's just one thing after another. And I'm just like, can I just have a decent day so I can go home in peace? No, fuck no.
Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I like peaceful days.
So, Star-Lord, I've already kind of sort of introduced you a little bit. But for people that are just tuning in or watching, or new people that are going to be watching the VOD later, introduce yourself. What got you into Star Citizen? What started the addiction? And I guess since we're kind of in the discussion already, what are you looking forward to most in the next coming year?
Well, I guess I'm Star-Lord. Everybody knows me as such. But what got me into it, really just watching a ton of videos, and I was kind of into like space games, and all of a sudden I really wanted to play a space game, which I started playing Elite Dangerous, and I played Elite Dangerous for about a year straight. And of course, then I heard it was flopping because it wasn't supporting the Xbox anymore. So I was like, okay, time to expand my horizon. So I chose Star Citizen, and yeah, that was an addiction. I couldn't let go. Landing on planets is just such a beautiful looking thing. It's just that to me that was just great. Just being able to do it myself. I don't know, that's the only thing that really, it's just, it sounds so meager, and it's just, to me it was everything, because there's not a lot of games out there that you can do it yourself. It's some cut scene or blackout screen, and then you're landed, and it's like, there you go.
Yeah, you don't even get to see the inside of your ship. It's push a button
Yeah.
and, like you said, blackout screen or a cutscene, and then you're either in your ship or out of your ship or from the space station to the planet. Whatever.
Yeah. But what was the other question you said? So what do I look forward to?
Yeah, what are you looking forward to, like we've been discussing CitizenCon. Like, what are you like? Are we looking forward to it? What are we kind of hoping that they discuss there? So I guess we'll piggyback on to some of the good before we get into more of the bad and the ugly. But what are you most looking forward to? I guess either going into CitizenCon, or if you were to theorycraft, what's going to come out of CitizenCon and what you're looking forward to.
Man, if I did research, I could answer this question, but I don't think I did enough research on this one. I What I'm looking forward to, I really hope they do what they keep talking about, balancing. They keep talking about it, but they do nothing, because I do have Spectrum, and sometimes I do glance at it, and I'm sure some other of you do. Is they always talk about trying to balance the weapons, balance the lasers, the cannons, and all that stuff, and they're always trying to balance. And then of course they're going into master mode, and I cannot wait for master mode. They keep talking about it, and it needs to come out so we can start practicing, and so on. I mean, to me, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, so I can really start learning even more, better knife fighting, you could say, circling and so on and so forth, instead of everybody just hauling ass at high high speeds. But that's just me. I mean, to me, it's always that. And of course, they're going to come out with some new spaceship or some new vehicle, which I'm not. You know, I want to keep it in my pocketbook. I want to keep my money at least.
Yeah, yeah. So somebody said the other day, what are you looking forward to most at CitizenCon? And somebody said, the wallet munching will be real.
Whoever said that, I commend you.
It will be for sure.
Yes, it will be. So I guess we'll get into the bad, really. You can throw some good in there too, guys. Mason, what's up? This whole podcast roundtable thing is all thanks to that question you threw in the Discord, and I appreciate that. So we'll get into the bad. What frustrates you the most in any single gameplay session, and we'll start with Star-Lord and work our way back around. What frustrates you the most in any single game session, or even let's say a week's worth of game sessions? What really frustrates you to the point where you just say, I'm done, log out, and then you leave it be for a day or two, a week, however it may be?
Desync. Absolutely desync. Desync between FPS. I've seen whenever we did combat together, us three right here, we had that combat problem where we were shooting a guy or I got shot. He said I fell down the shaft, and clearly I died, 100 meters from the freaking bunker, but somehow I fell down the shaft. And you shot a guy with almost a full clip, but he imaginary didn't take any damage until you reloaded and shot him again, and he went down and you went down. That shit makes no sense. That right there, that's the most. To me, that's bad and ugly all in one.
Okay.
That what irritates me so bad is desync.
Moon, how about you? What's that one thing in a game session where you're just like, or as I posed to him, Star-Lord, in a week or in a single game session that you're playing and you've had enough. You can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I would have to wholeheartedly agree with him. Desync. There are a handful of issues, but when you step back and look at it, almost everything is most likely attributed to desync. Everything that comes along and just kills you for no reason is most likely a desync issue. Lose equipment that you paid real money for, and you can't get back now because we don't have a way to reset it now.
The character reset, yeah.
But it's all because of desync.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it really gets annoying.
Mm-hmm. Canop, how about you?
I would like to say the same. Can't mainly probably performance, but I would also say another really big thing for me would be lack of substance in the game. There's some stuff to do, but there's a lot more that you could be doing in the game, especially a lot more substantial things that would make players feel like they're actually building upon something in this universe. And this game is really lacking in that department.
I can agree with that. I'm going to add my thoughts here in a moment. Pagan, how about you? What's that one thing that really grinds your gears when you're playing Star Citizen and just makes you hit the log out button?
Well, since 3.18, I would have to agree with the others that have spoken. Desync is a big problem. I know it's a problem with what I would call ground pounders, gun combat, FPS gun combat.
Mm-hmm.
You're shooting what you think is there, but you're not there. You're shooting a wall. Congratulations, but you don't know that yet. It's a problem with ship-to-ship combat because, I mean, we have watched rounds leave the gun, hit the other ship, splash damage. You get the sparks. Yay, good hit. Nope, just kidding. And then it's in ways that you may not realize when you're hull scraping a ship. You get this desync, and suddenly the beam is happening. It's hitting the ship. Nothing's going into your cargo hold. And then a few seconds later, you get this slow trickle of material. Or when you're mining, you think, hey, everything's cool. I'm at the bottom end. The green's filling up. It's about ready to pop. And then you're like, why is my ship flipping end over end? It's because you were desynced and you overheated the rock and you didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I mean, it got so bad one night, Moon and I just said, F it. We're done. I mean, we're done. Now, prior to that, I would say 30Ks. Prior to the PES coming in and them getting the 30K protection, and it was like 30K, 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 30K. And I'm like, I'm done. I mean, there's only been 3 times I've rage quit SC. One of them was 30Ks, and the past 2 have been desync.
All right. So my top 3 are desync, like everybody else. Star-Lord has definitely brought up a couple of really good examples of it. I enjoy a lot of ground combat, and when you can't do what you enjoy in the game, it's very it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you just don't. When you want to do that specific thing and you can't do it, and you can't enjoy it, it kind of sucks, and you don't want to play when you can't do the thing that you want to do in the game. I think Canop touched on it a little bit, was performance. It seems to me, and I wish I was doing this whole YouTube video streaming thing last September. Me and Star-Lord had many great conversations sitting out in the parking lot at work or in the back room at work, talking about Star Citizen in the future and what PES is going to do. And a lot of the stuff we discussed, well, it became more true than we could have ever expected. You know, we talked about server performance, desync, and all the other things that we've discussed that has gone with PES. So I'm with you guys. Like, I like PES, but I hate PES at the same time. And for those of you in chat that don't know what PES is, it's persistent entity streaming, and it's the ability to, the most common way to explain it is you can take Chris Roberts' coffee cup out to Daymar and put it on a rock and fly away and come back a couple of days later, so long as the server didn't 30K out, and his Chris Roberts coffee cup will still be sitting there on that rock waiting for you. So it's just a way of keeping items in game for, I don't want to say an indefinite period of time, but for a long period of time. And it seems to have kind of really squashed the server performance down a lot.
Now, on that, I would like to add, I've heard reports of people saying that after a server 30Ks and restarts, that PES is still in effect, and you come back to the server the way it was prior to the 30K. So what would happen is that you would put that cup on Daymar, and it would just stay there forever.
Yeah.
Is basically what they're saying PES is doing right now.
I don't think I've ever experienced that. I mean, the closest I've come to it is, you know, I was in a European server one day and I brought up one of those carts that you and Star-Lord like to play around in, you know, the big white carts that you find in the hangars. And I brought one of those up and I was racing around the station trying to hit people with it, you know, for giggles, because ASOPs weren't working that day. And I came back like 2 days later and I was like, holy shit, that's the same thing. The same cart is in the corner where I left it and it's still sitting there. So, yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, like we kind of need better server performance. So yeah. I'll start back around again. Rumor has it we're getting 200 player servers soon.
Oh dear fucking god. We can barely manage fucking, was it 90 sometimes that you'll see on here. Well, let's go to 200. Let's go to 200. They gotta fix. They gotta fix a lot. Like, I kind of want to roll off what Mason said there with the ground play. Like, he's 100% right. There's not many people that do ground play. Like, before you even started, you know, doing your YouTube streaming, here, Scarred, like, we had such great combat against people and didn't have any desync issue at all. Every shot counted, every shot hit. Even me using the railgun, I didn't miss, and now I can't hit the broadside of the barn because the ship was there, but yet now it's not there. Person was there, guess what? He's not there. And you know, it's just that I'm just rolling off what Mason said. It's just like the whole ground combat. I love it. Like, they need to create more environments and stuff like that.
We kind of traded 30Ks for server performance in PES, it seems like.
Yeah.
Pagan, how do you feel about the 200 player server counts?
Honestly, sorry CIG, but I don't think we're there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this project. I want to play it the way that it's supposed to be played before I die. I mean, I make jokes with my wife. It's like, remember, when I die, you need to get with Ron so you guys can divvy up my hangar. I mean, I make jokes about it, but, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, please just let this succeed once, you know, before I pass away and leave this mortal coil. But I honestly don't think we're ready for 200 players. I don't think we're ready for 120 players. Because anytime they fire up Ninetales or Xenothreat, the server goes to shit.
Yeah. and quick. It's almost immediate. It's like they flip a switch as soon as you hear that comm go out from what's that lady's name? Agent Dooley. Yes. As soon as Dooley starts talking, all of a sudden the servers just start tanking. You can see it happening. Moon, what do you think about the 200 player count? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they should implement it?
I would love to see the servers at 200 once they get things fixed enough for it, but we ain't ready. We just aren't ready.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, priorities. From my perspective, my point of view, there are a lot of other things that I would put at a higher priority than getting a 200 player server count.
I agree.
It's just that simple.
I agree. So I'm gonna shift gears here a little bit. I tell my chat and I tell a lot of people that are here already that I like to discuss Star Citizen that is and not so much the Star Citizen that will be, only because what we think and hypothesize and theory craft and everything like that, even if they give us an inkling of how it may work, it's never what we think. So here's one of my biggest hangups with Star Citizen right now. Canop, you touched on a little bit about how there's just not enough. What do you guys think? I think one of the biggest things lacking right now in Star Citizen is player progression, and then like things actually having a meaning within the game. And yeah. We'll start with Pagan, and then we'll work our way back around from Starlord to Moon to Canop.
How do you, progression? You mean mainly like reputation? Like the only thing that seems to be in right now is like a little bit of package delivery rep, and a little bit of salvage rep, and a little bit of bounty hunter rep. I mean, I would like to see it where, speaking strictly as like someone who does industrial, I mean, I'm sure others will talk about the FPS side more, but as an industrialist, I want it so that there's a mission where I can go scrape this ship. Okay, it cost me 50,000. Well, here's another mission. I pay 100,000. It's a super big ship. I get it, but you have to have the rep to get it. It's rep locked. I want trading missions where it's like, hey, grab your C2. I want you to fly over fly over here and get this cargo, but that's rep locked. I want all of that throughout the whole system. I want mining contracts that are rep locked. Hey, take your mole out there. I need 400 SCU of titanium. I want that rep locked. And right now, it just seems like Delphi is useless unless you're trying to grind up the ERTs.
Yeah, or bunkers, because the bunkers you get the 90K missions. Outside of that, I don't think rep is really used for anything else.
No, I mean they promised us things where like if you did missions for Nine Tails, you'd go to a different part of the system and they would shoot you on sight. I want that.
So here's my maybe I should have explained it more. Character progression. I don't mean exactly like a Diablo or like an EverQuest or a WoW type experience where you go, you start at level 0 and work your way up to level 99 and gear and all that stuff. But yes, rep progression, gear progression, component, like not so much ship progression because we can just buy that stuff outright, whether it's on the pledge store or you go to eBay and send a guy $15 and he gives you 50 million credits. But like component progression, like you can't just go and buy the best of the best straight off the shelf. You gotta
dangerous.
Yeah. And then like and then the other part to that question was actual weight to what we're doing. So like if I go to, I don't know, we'll use a derelict on one of Microtech's moons. I go there and I find a specific item or artifact or whatever. I not only could I trade that to another player, which I know that's not in the game, and they would give me either tons of space bucks for it or items that they have that are rare, or I can take it to an NPC within the game and be like an art dealer, for example. Hey, I found this, I forget all the alien names in this. I found this alien artifact here. I give you this, you give me tons of rep, I get tons of gear for it. I guess that's kind of what I meant. So if there's anything you'd like to add on before I move it over to Star, go ahead, Pagan.
I totally agree about the ship components, maybe even like vehicle weapons. Like, hey, you can get these repeaters, you can get these laser cannons, but we don't know you enough to sell you these Joker distortions. Remember the Joker distortions?
Hmm.
Yeah, something like that where you could rep lock them as well. Yeah, that would be awesome. Bring us that.
Star, you're up. What do you feel? Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Mm, mm. Okay, so you know my input on the whole on this whole thing with the whole Elite Dangerous. Just like you look at Elite Dangerous, everything is rep locked. But again, we have to get past the constant wipes because I would hate to have to keep doing reps over and over and over just to unlock a weapon. Every time they say, "Oh, we gotta wipe because somebody found a glitch. Oh, we gotta wipe because somebody found this." I'm until they get past this wiping phase, doing rep locks is going to be such a terrible idea, but it's the greatest idea at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to piggyback off what Canop said with the whole more to do. I want exploration. I want some Star Trek level shit.
Like sell
go,
coordinates to mining locations or
right,
salvages or
right,
alien artifacts, jump gates, et cetera, that kind of stuff.
and turn that into like a rep thing too. You can turn that into rep. Like the more you know how you got medical rep. How about exploration rep? Like this dude's the best exploration person in the game. Canop's the best in the world. So guess what? I'm gonna ask him, hey, where did you find this animal? Because I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, come on. Like there's so much you could do with rep and rep lock. They have no idea what they have in their hands. They just won't do it. They just won't do it.
Fair enough. I agree with that. I'd like to add on to it, but I'll wait for everybody to go. Moon, how about you?
Well, to a point, I agree with the others, but here's how I see it. From my understanding, what Star Citizen is supposed to be, quote unquote, is you start out at what's supposed to be the end of Squadron 42. You've just gotten out of the military and you're finishing your life out. Okay. So, first off, you should already have some knowledge on how to do some things. I really don't think I should have to jump through a bunch of hoops just to prove I know what I already know. As far as the rep thing, I do like that because I do think that, yeah, you get in favor with one faction, one group, whatever. Others going to dislike that, so it's going to go to that. The way I look at it, the closer you can get to quote unquote real life, the better. I'm one of those, I like it to be almost a mirror image of real life. Now, I understand some of that is going to make it too much BS. You got to condense some of it down because you got to gamify some of it. But I just want to be able to get in there and enjoy it and not have to go through a bunch of hoops, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I gotcha. How do you feel with like having weight to what you do? Like I said, you know, that one piece of armor that now this is hypothetical in theory. That one piece of armor that you found is better than all the other armors that are out there, like the ones that you can just buy off the shelf. Would you like to have weight to items like that? Or like if engineering comes out and we can tune a component and you lose your ship, like say it gets blown up, would you like to have weight behind those components? Like, yes, you lost that engine, but you can go and get an engine similar to it, but you're going to have to put more time into tuning it back up, or whatever it is. Would you like to have weight to that?
To a degree, but nothing insurmountable.
Okay.
Because I've seen too many times where somebody will go out they'll get all the best and greatest of gear, and then no matter how good of a player you are, and even if he's mediocre, he's got all the best gear. You might be the best player out there, and you've got decent gear. You can't even touch it.
I see your point. I see your point. Canop, how about you? Oh, sorry. You got more?
Just was basically going to say, and I don't think that no matter what you have, you shouldn't become untouchable.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There should always be a paper to a rock or a scissor to a paper. Canop, how about you?
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't like the feeling of substance for this game because, as most people know, games, especially games like this, they have quite a few steps in them. They have the beginning game, you have your middle game where you're doing the bulk of it, and then you have an end game, right? And Star Citizen right now is beginning and end game mixed all into one, right? So the beginning game is learning how to play, end game is just playing the game. And yeah, you could do some bounty missions and reps, which really they're kind of in a weird spot with the way they do that. They're kind of going off what Moon was saying. It's like Squadron 42. It's a very linear game where you're playing in the military, but then you come to Star Citizen and you're supposed to create a pilot, and then you're going to be like, oh, I was a veteran, but now here all of a sudden I'm an industrial miner. And it doesn't really make sense in the scope of the game. I would like to see like being able to not just like build up rep or whatever, but more substantial building up your character in their like empire. Crafting in the game would really help that with people. Being able to craft your own special like ship components. Like a shield with a modifier that you can craft. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they could have special differences than one bought at the store.
Like,
Or you could buy one at the store and tune it with your own crafting materials that you have to go out and get, which would really make people feel like they're doing something. Because if you have to go out and get a bunch of stuff to make one thing to upgrade something, when you get that upgrade, you're going to feel like you accomplished so much. And the game's missing stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you can get a little rep, but what does that do for you? Get you a mission that pays a little bit more, and some of them don't even pay favorably, right? And some of them like way outpay for what you're doing.
yeah, that is
And
true.
so everyone just ends up, okay, if you want to make cash, you do this, and then that's it. And then if you want to combat, you just go and buy this ship. Bada bing, bada boom, you beat Star Citizen. Congratulations. It took you a whole 4 hours to do.
So I really like what all of you guys had to say about rep and player progression and items that are weighted and or mean something, even if it's just means something to the owner, just because it was the first, I don't know, it was the first helmet they ever crafted, or it was the first ship engine they ever crafted, or whatever the case may be. One of the things that I would like to add on to like the rep gameplay part of the game is, so let's take Grimhex for example. You're a miner or a salvager. You're out in the Crusader system, and the closest hangar that you can get to because you're being chased by pirates is Grimhex. I would like it so that if you have good standing rep, you can't land there. Like, they don't want you there. But if you're a pirate or a bandit or a murder hobo or whatever the case may be, you can go there and land. But if you're all the way on the other side of the system and say at like New Babbage over Microtech and you're a bandit or whatever, you're not going to be able to land at that at that at that station. I'd like to see some things like that, because like you guys said, it should mimic real life to a point. I mean, it's obviously got to be gamified, but I would like it to see stuff like that. But that goes back into having good and bad rep. The rep has to be built up. The rep system has to be built up more before they can start implementing things like that.
And to build off on that, I would also like to see crime stats. Like, let's say I'm wanted on Hurston,
Mhm.
and I go to New Babbage. New Babbage not really care too much, but if I go back to Hurston, they're gonna be actively trying to get me.
Like, so like if you have a ticket in, say, Illinois, and then you drive to like California, they don't really care that you have a ticket in
Yeah,
Illinois, kind of
they'll
deal.
call it. Yeah, if you're wanted in Illinois, they'll call Illinois, which like extradite you, which they wouldn't. It's just like in space, they wouldn't come get you for that
Yeah.
unless there's like a security convoy nearby. Because all these planets, they're security, right? They're not actual like police. They're security forces,
Yeah, they're
right? There's
private
the
security.
military, which is the actual like
UEE.
government style like police. It's the government.
Hmm.
And it would be nice to be able to be wanted by them separate too. So all places could have their own criminal law that if you're wanted in one place, it wouldn't really affect another place unless you're like wanted for some like real heinous war crimes. You've murdered a bunch of people, then yeah, you'd probably be wanted across the whole system.
Gotcha. I want to answer or make a comment to somebody in the comment section. Jax, what I would like to see, Marcus has actually brought this up, and I think other people have. I would like to see it so that there's 2 outlaw space stations, at least in Stanton, anyways, because that's all we have right now. One in Crusader, and then one on the other side of the system. Even if it's just a random chunk of giant asteroid hanging out between, Microtech and ArcCorp somewhere out in that blank space. Plus, we have, then maybe this will be a good topic, and I'll just kind of after this we'll just kind of free flow. How, do you think that Stanton is too empty for what it is right now, especially after 10 years?
I definitely do. I've said it before, and I really feel like most of Stanton if all of Stanton could probably fit on a moon. Not a whole planet, but like a moon could probably, because a lot of the stuff is just repeat, like all the stations and stuff are just repeat over and over, or the bunkers.
The bunkers,
So you
the
could have
mining
bunkers, you
stations.
could have all your box missions. You could populate a whole moon with everything that's spread across Stanton right now. That's how sparse things are. I've played this, and I'm sure other people have played this. You could play this game and go days without seeing another player. I've
Yeah.
even gotten times where I've landed at the station, walked around the station above a planet like Everest or whatever, and nobody's even in the station. Sometimes you might get lucky, someone's standing in front of the ASOP terminal, but a lot of times the game's just empty.
Moon, what do you think? Is Stanton too big, or is it just too empty?
I think it's just not progressed enough. I really think once we get to the point to where we can start creating our own halves, as they claim we should, that it's going to fill up rather quickly. And I think that's why they're leaving so much space available, so we have the room to expand and grow on our own. Okay. As far as players, I hope and pray, as they get the servers more stable and are able to up the server counts and get more players in, that, again, it will grow and fill. I really don't want to see CIG filling Stanton with stuff. I want us, the players, to fill it. I think as far as CIG making growth, I want them to bring in more systems. Give us Nyx, give us Pyro, give us all the other systems. That's where I want them to grow it. But as far as what's in Stanton, what's in Pyro, let us grow that. That's where I think needs to happen.
Okay. Well, I like it. I respect it. Pagan, you're up. What do you think? Is Stanton too small, too empty, too big? Has it not progressed enough? What's your thoughts?
I think spread out as far as like the geographical size, I think it's a good starting system. Pyro's huge. If they would have started with Pyro, I think we'd all have a different feeling on this. I think there'd been a lot more stranded pilots. But I think what we need to build off what you stated, we used to have Levski. Levski used to be a quote asteroid unquote floating around out there about where at the top of the map, the top of the inner circle there. I'd like to see something like that, like a little pirate base, just like you mentioned. Maybe aboutish on the opposite side there, just kind of out there in the air in Halo, where if you know about it, you know how to find it. If you don't, you don't. Kind of like NT99X used to be and Jumptown used to be, where it was like, there's something there. There's no QT marker, but there's something there if you know about it. And I would, to further build off of that, I would like to see missions where the players are responsible for changing that part of the system. What I mean by that is like, okay, we want to build this pirate base. This surreptitious underground group wants to build a pirate base. Well, they can't build it out of nothing. So they're like, hey, we need a bunch of you to bring a bunch of materials here. Hijack it, steal it, mine it, whatever you got to do. I need 50,000 tons of titanium. I need some of this. I need some of that. Bring it out here to this area. Everybody conglomerates and brings it out there, and it feels kind of like a community goal was in Elite Dangerous. So what they're doing with dueling and all of that, but do it in a different system. That way you can build this, you can have a lasting impact, and the players can go, oh, I did that. I was part of that. That new pirate base is because I took 2 tons of laranite out there or whatever, you know? That's what I want to see.
I like that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a really cool idea. Star, you back from your bio yet?
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay. Same question. Is it too small, too big, too empty? Just enough?
It's too empty. I don't like the idea. This is just me. I don't like the idea of pyro. I just don't. I think they just need to expand the system that they're currently in, because now you're going to separate these type of players away from those type of players. Is really what you're going to do. And once you separate those players, no one's going to interact with each other no more. You just ruined your entire game just by creating a new system. It's just going to happen. I've seen it in other games. It always happens. Every time they create that gap, game starts to slowly go away. I'm not saying it's going to die. I'm saying it's going to slowly go away. I just think they just need to expand. Kind of like in Star Wars. I'm going to use a lot of references. It's like Star Wars. You know, they get the outer rim, the outer worlds. Just create that. Make that where, I mean, just do that. Why is that so hard?
I don't know. I mean, they borrow a lot from Star Wars. I mean, come on, we got the Christ Roberts X-wing special, and then the Mariah Fury's pretty much the Christ Roberts
TIE fighter.
TIE fighter, yeah. Yeah.
They even said it was that. They even said that was their envision. I was like, so why can't they just do the exact same thing? Don't create another system that you have to go through some type of portal, I guess, to get to the other side. You're literally going to separate PvP players away from conventional players.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. To me, that's stupid. Maybe somebody else might have a different opinion. 100% probably agree with you, but this I don't want to see people split, because I like the community where it is. Because even with PvP players, there's about 80% people that PvP you are pretty chill. The other 20% are just dick faces. But the 80% are pretty chill, and some of your people that we've gunned down, remember, dude, we've gunned down, and they're just like, well, that sucks. And you just can't help but feel bad all of a sudden. You're like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have shot him. It makes you question it now.
Yeah. Or remember when we were doing that whispering thing?
Oh my god, that dude was so funny. I still miss him.
50K and we'll get you back up. Fuck you.
He whispers back, fuck you. Oh, that dude was gold. I miss him.
So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna open it up to more of like a free form thing for the next 30-ish minutes, maybe a little bit longer if we get into some really good topics. And what I'll do is I'll kind of turn it over to Canup, because I want to know more about what he was talking to me on Discord about bringing some stuff to the table. So let's make sure that we respect each other and don't talk over each other or anything. Like, I know it's going to happen. Some people are going to overlap, but let's try not to talk over each other. So I'm going to turn it over to Canup. I really want to hear what he said he wanted to bring to the table tonight. So Canup, She's yours for the moment.
Oh, all mine. Yeah, I kind of touched on it about Star Citizen and the things they're saying that they're doing. I don't like personally. I don't like what Star Citizen spends their time into. Um, I mean, any of us right now could say a bug that we feel like needs to be fixed right now, right? That could very well help Star Citizen. But then what does Star Citizen do, right? And the newest patch note, what was the big number one point? ASOP terminals. They change ASOP terminals and the ship delivery time back down to 0.
Oh, yeah.
So in all of this time between updates, this was number one, the big fucking thing Star Citizen thought this is what needs to be worked on. ASOP terminals and them being able to go between screens faster and your ship come a little bit faster on a setting that we put in that nobody said they would fucking like in the first place.
Oh, but when they added that deliverable thing, they increased the times.
Yeah, and it's dumb. It's why would you spend time on this when you can go to issue cancel, literally close your eyes, click a fucking link, and it would help the game out a lot better than this was. Or bedsheet physics. Has anybody heard about that? Bedsheet physics?
The bedsheet
They want to put
deformation.
bedsheet physics in a fucking game that you might be laying down because you're logging out of your ship somewhere. Nobody's going to a fucking planet or station, landing, going to the fucking hab, which you can't even do, right? You can't go to the hab and ask for a room.
No.
Based on my understanding, last time I tried, you couldn't.
No, you can't. Once you exit the hab, that's it. You can't get back into any of the habs.
That's it. So what's the point of bedsheet deformation?
In the current game?
The feature creep of stuff like that is so stupid that they could be doing the fairy polish. Stuff like that. Come on.
Well, can I say something real
go
quick?
ahead.
Like, I understand how you see that, and from looking at it from our perspective on looking at just Star Citizen, I agree 100%. But keep in mind, they have also stated right now their focus is Squadron 42. We have no idea where they are with that, and that might just be what they need to do for Squadron 42. And in my opinion, I say, fine, let's get Squadron 42 done, get it out the fucking door. We don't have to worry about it no more, and we can focus on Star Citizen.
Hear, hear. Round of applause to that one.
Yeah, I'm more in the camp. Squadron 42 probably shouldn't exist.
I agree, but at this point they're already all in. So my opinion is let's hurry up and get this thing the hell out so we can, because I'm sure Pagan and Star agree. We didn't pledge for ships to play Squadron 42. We pledged for those ships to play in the PU. And I don't know if Pagan feels this way or if Moon feels. I don't want to try to speak for any of you guys, but if we don't want Squadron 42 or the camp that doesn't want Squadron 42, that's fine. But we're already this deep. Let's just get it done and get it out so that way the people that really bought into and pledged all this money into the ships for the PU, then we can have our game now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah. They really need to get it done and out the door. I'll be truthful with you. I'm sick of hearing about it. I had heard scuttlebutt years ago, and I mean like 3 years ago, that the reason why we weren't going to see the Apollo win game was because it was part of SQ42. And I'm like, okay, that's all well and good, but how come we can't get it in game if you guys are building this asset? I don't know if that's true or not. The guy wasn't avocado, he wasn't avocado, but he did know a lot of inside stuff. And I'm like, why? I mean, why build these assets for SQ42 and then withhold them from Star Citizen? Well, we want the wow factor. Okay, great. I never bought an SQ42 package. The only reason why I got one is because it was a bundle for the Scoundrel pack. So I really DGF about SQ42 other than get it out the door so I can play SC.
Well, and to answer one of the people in chat, I really don't think that putting out Squadron 42 is going to kill the PU. because first off, they're getting all their money from the PU.
Yeah.
CIG is not going to sit there and cut off their cash cow just because they released Squadron 42. PU is their cash cow. That's where they're getting their money. That's where that's coming from. You don't have to worry about PU going anywhere. That's their money maker. Yeah, they got to sell their ships. They got to sell their shit.
I think there's a funding unlock for SQ42.
What scares me though is the change in the way that they communicated Squadron 42. They not talking about it anymore, and they are no longer trying to give any kind of release date on that. And those are two very worrying signs about the development, that maybe development isn't really going anywhere further, and that they're just maybe trying to hammer something out now.
I'm hoping it's because they feel like they're on the home stretch and they're about to get it out.
See, I'm on the camp. If you're on the home stretch, you would be bragging about it, right? Because now you'd want to be building hype.
I agree.
So going radio silent scares me.
The thing is, you can build a lot of hype just from going radio silent. Look at how many people are talking about it just because they aren't.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Moon. I mean, I understand both sides of the opinion. I kind of agree with Moon, though. There's a lot of hype behind it, because if you go, I mean, just go to Morphologist, Board Gamer, Ollie, Burks, Salty. The list goes on and on and on and on. For the last 2 months, 3 months since they removed it from the store, all they talk about is, are we going to get a release date at SitCon? Are we going to get another vertical slice at SitCon? Is Squadron 42 going to be finally announced? Like, it's coming out? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of generated a lot of hype. Now, I'm not buying into the hype train. Look, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I love Star Citizen. I love the theory of what they want to do with the game, but damn, I've been burned so many times with the communication aspect in the short year that I've been here, that I'm kind of one of those guys. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep. But that being said, you look at a lot of other publicly discussed projects. I'm not talking just in video games. I'm talking any publicly discussed project that does have a bit of secrecy to it. Something where they want to release where not everything is known. It's very common to go radio silent or to go dark shortly before a release.
Yeah, it's true. It is true to a point. I don't know. Like I said, you guys, whatever you guys want to discuss, let's discuss it. I don't care if it's the good stuff, the bad stuff, the ugly stuff, hype train stuff, you know, theory crafting. Keep it rolling. I got like 30 more minutes, and 15 to 20 more minutes, and I'm sure other people would like to go and play Star Citizen or whatever game they're playing, or go eat dinner or whatever it is. But yeah, whatever you guys want to hit, let's do it. Let's do it.
Right. I'd like to kind of hit on the addictive side of Star Citizen.
You know what? Let's do that. We'll do that for the next 15 minutes or so.
I finally put my crack pipe in,
What
so I'm
people, what do we think is making people so addictive to this game? You know, is it like belief in vision, or maybe, you know, FOMO? I've heard FOMO get tossed around quite a few times. That a lot of people think maybe FOMO. I think, you know, expectation of future development is really big. But you know, the social dynamic I've seen some people talk about. But really, what do you think is the main driving addictive behavior for a lot of people in Star Citizen?
I'll let you guys go first.
And do you think a lot of people are in denial about their Star Citizen addiction?
I had it. I don't.
I'll admit it. Yeah, I'm fully addicted. Let me kind of. Here's what I'm hoping to get. What I'm wanting to have in game for me, Star Citizen. I want to where I can come in, have my own quote unquote spaceship repair shop where I can go out, grab 3 or 4 derelict ships, pull them in, take them apart, put them back together, and have one working, fully functional ship. But that's just me. That's what I want. And I look at where Star Citizen is and what they're talking about, what they want in the future, and I see that as something that can happen. And definitely by far, I don't see anything out there that is going to compete in game with it. So that's why I stick with Star Citizen.
I think Starfield's got to bring something interesting to the table. I know no one's mentioned the other S word tonight yet. I don't think Starfield's going to be an SE killer, but I do hope that it lights a fire under CIG's developer. Well, let's be real. It's probably not the developers. It's probably management. I really hope it puts a fire under certain management butts. I think it's going to bring more interest to SE as well because it kind of sets that itch on your skin. Like, ooh, I could be an astronaut. I've always wanted to be an astronaut, and I think that's going to bring more people in. But I think that ties into the addiction because it gives you a chance to live an alternate life that you don't have any chance of living right now. Our great grandkids, they might get something like that, but we don't have anything like that right now. So I think that kind of ties into that feeling of desire and it reaches into that deep primal urge. So yeah, it's going to be an addiction until we get something else that fills that hole.
It
So
sounds like a lot of it is expectation of like what this game could be, like just the thoughts of what the game could be, like because it's a mild wide. I think that's the addicted driver. That's what I'm hearing a lot.
Pagan, you kind of skirted around it. Are you an addict?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Before I knew it, I was like, I have a shiny gold pistol. What is this? You know, I mean, and that crept up fast. And I'm usually pretty stingy with spending money on myself. I mean, I've got no problem spending it on other people, but spending it on myself, I don't do that much. But yeah, I mean, definitely an addict. I could go a week without playing, but you probably wouldn't want to be around me.
Oh wow.
Before we move on to Star, because I want to ask Star-Lord, or I mean, I want Star-Lord's opinion on it too, but what are you addicted to the game? Like, what addicts you to the game? Is it just the game, or as Canop said, the vision? What is it?
Wait, we asking me?
Oh, to Pagan. Before I get to you, or before you go, Pagan. What is your addiction in the game?
Living that life. You know, it's like one day I can jump in a small fighter ship and get massacred by better players and probably some NPCs because I'm dog shit. I'm dog balls. And then like okay, when that actor dies and I get regenerated, he can jump into a salvage ship and go do salvage. Or when he dies or whatever, I can jump into another one and do something else. I mean, that's stuff that I can't do. I mean, I have a feature set that I've cultivated over the years. I can reset passwords pretty damn good, but I can't fly a spaceship. You know, I can't go out in mine. But for me, that's the thing is it gives me a chance to crawl inside somebody else's skin and live vicariously.
How about you, Star-Lord? Are you an addict? Are you a Star Citizen addict?
I used to be. I am no longer a Star Citizen addict, but I was one. And it started basically when I got jumped at a bunker, being killed by another player at a bunker. I don't know why it would make anybody addicted. It's just it created that universe of, oh shit, even just a normal area, you might get fucked. And that was the greatest feeling. I don't know why. It was great. That means I need to be on my toes, and it made me enjoy the game even more. That immersion and the immersion of walking through my ship, interacting with all the buttons. Now the future sense of it, like what Canop said, no. The envision, I I don't believe too much in envision. I've played a lot of games that had that envision idea, and it always disappointed me. So if I stayed where here and now with the whole, oh, this button's cool, that button's cool. Oh, I can do this. I can basically what I can do now is just amazing because I came from Elite Dangerous to this. Elite Dangerous didn't have inside ships. So basically, when I was able to walk through a ship, I was a kid in a candy store. I kid you not. I wanted to walk through every single ship and push every single button and pray to God I didn't kill myself by tripping over nothing. And everybody knows you've tripped over something that nothing was there, and your character just went down and goes and just starts dying.
Yeah. I'm an on again, off again addict. Like I'll play a gaming session here or two over a week, and then I will go and play a different game. Like because right now with the work that I have, I only get like 1 or 2 days a week to play, and which kind of sucks, but also helps keep that addiction alive for Star Citizen. But every once in a while, I have a really, really, really bad night with Star Citizen, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Next weekend, I'm not playing Star Citizen. I'm going to play something else. But I'm addicted to it. I think Star-Lord really hit the nail on the head on why I became addicted to it as well. It was the night that me and him did we get jumped or did we do the jumping? I can't even remember now, but
They were in our bunker.
oh, that's
They
what
were
it
in our
was.
bunker.
They were in our
And they
bunker.
shot first, and we shot back. We won the fight. That's all that
Yes.
mattered.
Yes, that's what it was. And what turned into, and what was, we shot them and killed them, and we were like, oh, it's over. They're not coming back. It turned into what, a 3.5-hour battle over that bunker, and along with a really cool Hollywood style chase out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what started my addiction. Now, it sucks because I never got addicted to the ships like some people do. Like there's some people that come to my chats, Pagan's chats, Canop when he does Twitch, that will talk about, CCU chains and what ship they're going to buy at CitizenCon or IAE or whatever the case may be. I never got addicted to that. I guess, thank goodness, because I'd probably be way deeper than I would be.
I hope I'm never that level addicted where I'm talking CCU chains to get bigger ships. I hope that day never comes for me. I don't want to be that that deep. My bank account would hate me.
So
His eyes starts twitching.
What's that?
His eye starts twitching like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy it.
I gotta buy it. I gotta buy it.
I mean, I'm guilty. I've spent more than just the starter amount of money. I've got my starter ship and I've got my constellation. So I'm not saying you're wrong if you want to spend a little bit more in on the game. It's just like what Pagan did. Know before you dive in, before you're spending that kind of money, and never spend outside your means.
Yeah,
It's just
definitely.
good life tools, especially like same with like watching streamers, anything. Never go out of your means. If you can donate $20 to a streamer or whatever, every couple of months, then yeah, for sure, go for it. That makes you happy and you can support that. Don't be spending $2,000 for a ship and then you're sitting at your house wondering, shit, am I gonna eat or am I gonna pay electricity?
Right.
Or I guess you're gonna pay electricity so you can play Star Citizen.
Ramen noodles again.
Right?
Yeah, ramen noodles for. I'm gonna pledge for this ship and eat ramen noodles 3 meals a day for a month.
I think if you're like that, you there's a problem, and unfortunately, Star Citizen is a game that could get people like that, and I'm sure there is people right now like that with Star Citizen where they're really hurting because of this game.
Do you
Yeah,
think?
I admit, I love the ships. I love the ships in this game, and I will admit, it's caused me to sit there and keep tight rein on my budget, my wallet. I put a little more into it than probably should have, but I've managed it. I have sat down. I've decided, okay, look, this is the ones I'm going to go with, and no more. And I've kept to it pretty well. I'm not done by any means. I'm going to make some purchases in the future. But I've already determined they're by far a majority of the ships that if I get them, it's going to be an in-game purchase and not through real monies.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's definitely taken discipline. I've had to decide these are okay, these are not, for what I want to do, and stick to it. And yeah, I'm limited budget, so I have to really adhere to that, and it can get hard.
Yeah. I would have to agree and also build on that. And to anyone who is watching now or watches the VOD later, if you are considering building up your fleet, bear this in mind. Two things. The game you're playing now is not the game that may be in 2 years. Also, don't buy everything you want. Grind for it, work for it, trade for it. Do that. I mean, get the ships you need so that you can have the career you want. Okay, you want to do dogfighting? Okay, start with Gladius. It's $90. It's a minor upgrade from the Aurora. I mean, if you want to do mining, maybe bank a little bit of money and get a Prosy. I mean, if you want to do cargo, get a freelancer or a Cuddy Black, but just only invest what you have as discretionary income. Don't overspend. Don't overinvest. Go ahead.
And leave yourself something to work for in the game.
Yeah.
Don't go buying the top tier ships with real money. You ain't gonna get in the game, not have anything to do. Nothing to work towards.
That works too.
The pledge store is not an I win button.
No.
No, but unfortunately, it's being set up to be that way. I mean, you could buy credits now in the store. I feel like that's really bad. I feel like that's very deceptive and very manipulative of Star Citizen to do, where you can start buying credits in game.
Yeah.
$5 too for like 5,000 or something like that. It's not even worth it. It's really.
Yeah, it's $5 for 5,000, 10 for 10,000, and 20 for 20,000. And then they limit you either daily or weekly on how much you can buy. So it's like 120,000 space bucks that you can buy per day or per week. I forget what it is, but yeah. And I didn't know this, but it's been available in the store for, I guess, 2 or 3 years, and people have been buying it at max whatever the daily or weekly.
See, I don't remember that because I know when I started, I went through there and I could see like you could buy all the armors and stuff, and then that's when I first saw they had a bunch of like concept ships in the store, but I never saw credits in the store.
There. It's sad.
Yeah,
that's weird because I never saw it. I only found out when some people started talking about it more that I came privy to that you can buy credits, and I think that's, like I said, really bad, real deceptive, real manipulative of Robert Space Industries, CIG, whoever you want to call them, Christ Roberts.
Roberts, all hail Christ Roberts.
I will say shame on him on that full-heartedly. We can kind of argue about ships and stuff, but I really feel like the selling of in-game currency to especially like a beta game is real manipulative.
Well, here's one thing that I like about Star Citizen, and you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's pay to win, pay to win." You know what? You can go out there, you can get in the store and buy every single stupid ship, every single piece of armor, every single piece of equipment with real money. Spend $80 gazillion if you want. I can still take my one little vulture, go out there, find me a ship, and do what I want.
Yeah, it's true. There's still a skill ceiling though too.
I don't care if you have every single thing the game has to offer. I can still do what I want, and you ain't stopping me.
Well, I'll run around butt naked and say, you know what? Give me $2 million. I'll stop annoying people. And guess what? They start giving me money. I don't give a damn. You seen that shit? I even texted you, say, hey, dude, get on. This dude's giving away $2 million. Just all you got to do is go here. He gave us $2 million.
Yeah.
Shit, you're not.
Yeah.
I said, fuck it, man. Free money. I don't give a damn. I'm tired of grinding. I think the grind is what's pissing me off. That in 2 months, all of a sudden, guess what? Oh, another wipe's coming. Another 2 months. Oh, another wipe coming. And that's what kind of pulled me further and further away from the game, is because of the constant wipes. If they'd stop at the wipes, I think you'd have more, I hate to say it, more people addicted to the game because their progression is now still consistent.
Yeah,
Mm.
When your progression is
wipes
wiped,
are
it fucking kills you. It ruins you.
Mhm.
It beats you down, and I'm tired of being beat down because, I hate to say, I don't mind being a beggar. Trust me, I'll beg. I'll be like, hey guys, man, shit, I'll make up a story. I kid you not, I got 1,000 of them in my head. I'll make up some stupid story, and somebody will gift me money. I'm not making this up. Somebody will gift me money every time, and I'll be able to start and use that.
yeah,
I had a guy give me 50 million just because he was bored.
the wipes are definitely a big negative. I understand that, yeah, they're needed sometimes, but they definitely need to work harder on finding a way to minimize the wiping.
Okay, but how about this? I'm going to play devil's advocate here, just because that little devious side of me is popping out. My fork tail just sprouted.
Mm.
But okay, another popular game with people who love FPS combat is
Tarkov.
Tarkov. Now they wipe on a regular basis, and they've turned it into a sub game. Like the wipes come in, and they will just go ape shit and do whatever they want because they know the wipe is gonna come next
Mhm.
month, and that game gets played so intensely post wipe. I think now I'm not saying Star Citizen should wipe every 6 months, but what I am saying is like maybe make a game out of it, or maybe make something in game. It's like, hey, we're gonna put the special mission in there. We know we just wiped. Those of you who want to get your bounty hunter rep up quickly can go do the special mission for Dooley here, or you can go to Arcor and go assassinate these people for Twitch. Or you can go over here to Microtech and do some surreptitious mission for Microtech security, and you gain like buku rep for that. That would be a quick way to let both parties
Or
win.
time played, like they did before when they did
Yeah.
time played. Remember that? It's like, of course, they botched that up.
Yeah, I
But I'm
remember
just
that
saying in
decimal
general.
point. Remember that decimal
Yeah.
point, please.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
I've
But
been
just
playing.
to say, go ahead.
Yeah, I was playing for like 6 weeks, and no, I was playing for a little bit longer than, yeah, it was somewhere around then. And Star's like, bro, make sure you play some. They're gonna give out for time played. I'm like, no shit, really? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm probably not gonna get that much. I didn't play that much in the last 2 months or 3 months, whatever it was, because I think I came in at the tail end of 3.16 when that started. But anyways, and Star hits me up. I was at work. He was off that day. He hits me up. Dude, I got like 180 million. And I'm like, what? No. I get home and I got like 50 or 60 million. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with all of this? This is great.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But I mean, fix that. But I'm just saying, do it as time played. So say if they do a wipe, it's not such a bad wipe. I'm not saying I need 180 million or he needs 60 million. Just make it where it's like, 20 million. 20 million can get you some of those smaller ships that you did have.
Yeah.
Some of them, not the bigger ones, because some of the bigger ones, like say if you wanted to go all out, I mean, you can spend a lot really fast. We all know this. One ship can take 1 million or 2 million just to upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Stuff like that, or even 15 is fine. But to lose everything every time and then start from point A again, and all of a sudden you only get to play with it for like say 2-3 weeks is ridiculous.
yeah.
It's a little it's just too much. That's
So,
what killed my vibe.
yeah, it definitely hurts real bad when you've grinded all that time for all those space bucks, and you're about to buy a ship, or you just bought a ship, or just the grind itself. You're proud of yourself for doing that grind, and then 3.19.2 is coming out with a wipe, and you're like, oh well, damn. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking we should end this. We've had a really good conversation, but I'd like to go back around and just, I guess, give me your closing arguments. What you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. Just something quick, like your closing arguments, and we'll go back around. We'll start with Can Up and go back around. Can Up, you there? You muted?
No, sorry, I was not here.
Okay.
Passed out there for a minute.
You have to run that back for me one more
Okay,
time.
so
Sorry.
I was like, I was saying, like, we're gonna end it here. I'm sure other people would like to go and do other things tonight. And like I said, I did this spontaneous, and thank you for everybody that showed up. I really appreciate it. And but like, give me your closing arguments. Like, I don't care if it's the good, the bad, the ugly, the addiction, the your hopes, your dreams, whatever it is. Like your closing arguments, and then we'll go around and I'll give mine, and then
Oh yeah,
we'll
yeah,
get on the
definitely.
game.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was on Pagan's Only Feet account subscribing.
You know
I
it,
was
baby.
re-upping my subscription.
Get him that
Um,
Mercedes.
but you know, Star Citizen, it's a very ambitious game that I feel like if there's not someone there tightly holding the rings, it's something that could very quickly get out from underneath them and end up in a horrible disaster. I feel like personally they are leaning towards disaster more than success. Here more and more lately with a lot of stuff they're doing, like trying to they're trying to force an economy that doesn't exist. They're trying to force you to do stuff that there's nothing to do in a way that they want you to do in a game that's supposed to be open, just because they have nothing else really there. Um, I am glad games like Starfield are still being developed. I don't think Starfield will be anything that would ever hurt Star Citizen, just because they're two totally different things. When you sit down and look at them, I just really wish Star Citizen would get off the feature creep and bundle down and say this is what Star Citizen is going to be, and start working on that. And Star Citizen is, I don't think, here in the next anytime soon is going to realize that until maybe they're more pushed into a corner to have to do so.
Good take. Good take. I like it. I like it. Moon, how about you? What's your closing take, your closing argument, closing opinion?
For me, I want to be your neighborhood spaceship mechanic. Let me do that. I'd be happy.
Honestly, you're
I'm
the
a simple man.
You're the first guy I've ever heard say that's what I want to go do. Usually it's I want to pirate, I want to shoot people in the face, or I want to run cargo. You're the first person I've heard say I want to be a spaceship mechanic.
I'm a mechanic. I worked on cars. I've worked on farm equipment my whole life. I find nothing better in this world than taking stuff that is dead, pulling them apart, putting them back together, and breathing life back into it again. That is just so amazing to me. And unfortunately, due to health issues, I can't really do that in real life much anymore. So I have found Star Citizen. It gives me an outlet that teases me into that category where I can at this time do some of it, and there's a promise of being able to do more of it later. Of course I'm going to be hooked, and that's what I want.
Cool. I like it. I honestly, like I said, I've never heard somebody say that before. Like I said, usually it's, as I've mentioned, shoot people, shoot ships, trade stuff, blow rocks up. But I've never really heard anybody say I want to be a spaceship mechanic. That's really cool. Star, how about you? What's your closing arguments? What's your thoughts, your dreams, your wishes?
Oh man, I just want some Star Trek shit. That's it. Make it simple. I want Star Trek shit. I want some aliens. I want to go to a planet where, I worry about, a freaking graboid coming out of the ground, some sandworms. I don't give a shit. Some shit like that, man. But this irritates me that I ain't got that. That's what I want. Very simple. Very, very simple.
You're a simple man, aren't you?
I just, the combat is fun. They can fix that. I'm sure they can. I'm gonna have a little bit of faith in that because they fixed it before. Then they botched it. I'm pretty sure they can figure it out. But why can't I get some life on planets? I want life on planets. There we go. Let me simplify it. I want life on planets for exploration reasons. I've pirated. It's fun, but I want some life on planet. So if I'm pirating somebody, I got to worry about a sandworm taking out some toes. You know,
Nanu, nanu, live long and prosper.
or I don't know, just some giant, like, let's take Star Wars again, for example. You remember when they're in the Coliseum and that big alien bull rammy rhino thing is attacking them? Something like that, you know, you're shooting back and forth at each other. All of a sudden that thing is like, well, you're in my territory. I'm going to go kill all you guys.
Right. If you're not paying attention, game over. It doesn't matter. You could be the one winning, and all of a sudden that the random creature just comes out and wrecks you, and the other player wins the gunfight. I mean, that shit right there is amazing to me because it's random.
Yeah.
Like how I died the very first time when I played Star Citizen. It was random.
How about you, Pagan?
Well, I want Canop to be the first person eaten in a Daymar sand cave by some weird beast that no one knew was there. And after that happens, I want to amass I want to amass such a huge financial empire in Star Citizen that I can just point a finger and people just go over there and kill that person for me. That would be awesome. But what I would say to anyone who's watching this and considering it, it is a fun game. Don't overinvest. Know what you're getting into. Spend the minimal amount. Have fun. And when you start getting bored, maybe consider changing it up a little bit and move on to do something else. Like, hey, you can only do this so long in the game's current state before you're going to get bored with it. But to the management of SE, I would really, really hope that a CIG saw at least part of this and listen to this, take it to heart. You need to take the reins out of marketing's hands. You really need to take the reins out of marketing's hands. You have plenty of money. The people who believe in this project are going to back this project. Take it out of those hands and please finish this so that we can travel to multiple star systems. Okay, we got a lot of ships already. Just finish the ones you promised.
Yeah, as long as they keep the progress going, Star Citizen's good enough. The money is going to come in. You don't need to push for it.
Yeah, it'll. So I guess it's my turn, my closing argument time. I'd like to see the mismanagement end, as Pagan pointed out. All of you guys have fantastic points, and all of you guys have different kind of wants / needs from the game. I guess it wouldn't be needs, but wants from the games that I think it's really cool. All 5 of us kind of want something a little bit different out of the game. A need, yeah. All 5 of us got something we want different out of the game. But I really hope the mismanagement stops. I hope the process starts speeding up a little bit. And I think, I never talked about I did talk about my addiction a little bit. I think the other thing that drives me to come back to this game, and I would like to see continue to be a focal point and a driving factor in this game, is player interaction. I'm not talking about PvP player interaction. I'm just talking about general player interaction. I need something, but Moon has it, so I need to go and talk to Moon. Or Canop has this one thing that he's got to do, but can't do it because he doesn't have the ship for it, so he's got to talk to me. Or, any variation of those situations where somebody would have to talk to somebody else to get something or do something. So that's
amen.
That's what I would like to see. More player interaction, less mismanagement, and I'll add on to Pagan. Get marketing out of the damn pledge store and stop trying to push this game off as... You guys have all seen the commercials. I mean, you see the commercials, and until you see playable alpha, and even when you do see the playable alpha, what we see from the commercials, we're like, oh yes, this is going to be the most excellent space game ever. And if you happen to be one of those guys that joins during a free flight, you're like, oh man, fuck this, I want out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Can I ask one question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've been sitting here. I've been basing myself off Orson for quite a while now, and I still have one question. Where's Mork's house? I've yet to find him.
I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, thank you. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I think we've gone on long enough. It's been it's going on almost 2 hours now. I'd like to thank once again all the guests here: Canop, Moon, Pagan, Starlord. Thank you all for coming here. Thank you all for your well thought out opinions. I really enjoyed listening to all you guys and bouncing stuff off of you guys. It was a lot of fun. Chat, thank you for the 15 likes, and Kick for all the guys that came and visited on Kick. You guys are great. Love y'all. Love the Star Citizen community. It's one of the best out there. And anybody got any last words? Any final words?
Yeah, be sure you like the stream. Subscribe if you're not. Head over onto twitch.tv/paganlinksgeek. I beat you to it, buddy. And be sure you give him a follow. He streams Star Citizen too.
And Canop. But you
get those feet pics.
Yeah. You got get those feet pics. You guys. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys stick around for just a couple of minutes after I end the stream, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for
thanks
coming.
for the invite.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem.
Man, thank you.
Oh, no problem. I kind of wanted it to be a group thing. We'd share all of our addiction horror stories together.
No, I was late. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, man. It's okay. I know you got work and family and all that stuff. Most of us all here got work and family stuff or real life stuff we got to attend to. But you guys, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next stream. I'm not sure when that'll be, but as soon as I can, I'll put that up in the community part of the channel and let you guys know as soon as I can. Thank you all for being here. So long, and thanks for all the fish. I'll see you guys later.
Oh yeah. Good luck tomorrow, everyone. Good luck in chat.
Oh yeah.
Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Peace.
Good luck,
Pete.
Scarred.
Look.